Welcome to Night Marathon 9. This year we are going to do the Conjuring franchise.
Seeing Jill set up, it's like perfect for the nun to kind of like
Question: who's seen the first Conjuring?
Oh, you can't see my hand. Hold on.
Craig and China have not. How many people have? Oh, hey, Travis.
Hey.
How many Conjuring movies have people seen?
2.
I've seen like
all but 2 of them.
I've seen 5 times 0.
I've seen the first one, the second one, and I've seen Annabelle.
Okay, so I've seen Conjuring, Conjuring 2, and Annabelle Creation, but I haven't seen the first Annabelle.
I've seen all of them but the first Annabelle and Curse of La Llorona.
I haven't seen this movie since the theater. I remember it leaving a very good impression, a very favorable impression, and it being like legitimately scary.
I have immediately just come down with the flu and or a migraine.
China might leave it in the middle.
Here we go.
That's the canary, folks. That means it's time to get out.
To keep all that shit in your house is insane in the first place. China.
This is the worst day of my life.
The fact they show the hands. Oh, that's scary, man.
Taking pills? I agree.
Who's ever down there? I'm gonna lock you in now.
Some work down there.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Oh, fuck.
that was good.
Dislike. I hate everything. Stop.
Along just like that. Does it come in threes? Yeah. Stops at dawn? Uh-huh.
Get out of the house now.
I love this part.
That concerns me.
Whoa. I like it.
Already the darkness has claimed Aaron and Travis.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that happened a while ago. This movie's not funny at all. Whoa! That's cool.
Oh, no. You let her walk away.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, my God. No, don't play the game.
Such a bad
No.
idea.
Oh.
Nancy?
Whoa!
That's the way to do it.
Irresponsible.
Oh,
dear.
That was The Conjuring from 2013. Yay.
Guys, don't clap. Don't clap.
Who would like to synopsize this first one?
Obviously, China.
Good luck.
God, it was terrible. And there's a family. They buy a farmhouse at auction. They move in, and immediately things start being kind of weird. Lots of noises. Someone tugging on people's feet while they're sleeping. The mom gets weird bruises. Everyone's scared. They go back to school because that's what you do when you're scared. You go to a lecture from these, what do you call them?
Demonologists?
Yeah,
That's-
parapsychologists
Yeah.
like
There you go.
Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are based on real life people.
Yeah, I don't need to focus on that part. And they ask them for help and they don't want to help, but then they do help. And then they come and like basically immediately stuff is confirmed to be super weird. And so then they're like in.
Then they have to figure out what happened within the history of the house that is causing the current manifestations. Who's in the house? They say there's a lot of things in the house, demons, spirits. Lots of stuff's going on in the house. What it comes down to, guys, spoilers for the Conjuring universe all day. If you haven't seen these movies and you don't want them spoiled, because it's just going to happen. The mother, way back when, was possessed by this entity to kill her child. And so that's what happens with our current family, played by Lily Taylor, who just over-delivers every time. She's just aces.
Oh my God,
That
she
woman
works
believes.
so hard.
Yeah.
That woman believes what she's doing on camera at all times. So then she grabs a couple of her kids, drags them back into the house. They were smart enough to go to a hotel, but didn't work. They have to do a big old exorcism in the house. Bada bing, bada boom. The Conjuring. This thing is a scare factory, guys. Like, talk about set pieces. Like, you just like line them up and knock them down.
Favorite part was definitely the clapping that came out from the basement.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
definitely a good one.
that and right before that, the door to the face was great.
Yeah.
It was just really unexpected and just not something you usually see.
The clapping thing, like appearing over her head. That was a trailer moment. Like, they hung like half of the trailer on building the tension to the clapping, and it really worked because this is one of the most successful horror movies of all time.
I mean, it was incredibly cast. People
Very
were
well cast.
working their hearts out.
It takes a lot of time. Director James Wan, modern master as far as I'm concerned.
Like the bed sheet too. The bed sheet
bed sheet's
was
great.
That goes hand in hand with the elements of foreshadowing that they basically implemented throughout the movie. So, like the bedsheet being a foreshadowing moment to covering the mom in the basement, and then having her like spit the blood through it, and then it's like, you know, the slit through, and then you're getting to see like the witch's face. But then also like the daughter handing her necklace. So that basically like they have this sort of loophole totem that the ghost can travel through in order to get to her house. They just did a really great job of setting up different set pieces that were also foreshadowing moments.
I thought Aaron brought up a good point earlier in the movie when you were talking about the exposition. Exposition is just so goddamn hard to pull off, and it's kind of like stealthy, and so they don't front load it at the beginning.
It's like a haunted house movie, but it's also a possession movie. But like the rules aren't super like clear. Okay, like it can attach to items, but then it can possess people. But after it possesses people, it can like still wield shotguns and stuff.
It can leave the house, but then Lily Taylor can't leave the
but
house.
they also said there's so many things here.
Because there are so many things at play here, like the rules are unknown, which means like we can't call them out and anything is possible. And that's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
There's one thing about these movies. I'm talking about big studio horror. All right. Because big studio horror still costs what, 5 to 10 mil versus, you know, whatever superhero budget. So like they still feel like they have to push it farther, and it can get a little goofy. Like indie movies can't afford to do the big set pieces. These can do like 17 indie set pieces within their movie, and then they have to really blow it out on the back. Turning her upside down and banging her against the floor and stuff. You're right on the edge of being like, I don't know. Is this scary? Is this too goofy? Where are we falling here?
I was not on the edge of whether it was scary or goofy. I was not confused about that.
What do you guys think of the portrayal of the Warrens? Because in real life, they're basically terrible people.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, somebody said that in the comments.
I don't know enough about the real Warrens to have any opinion on
I
this.
don't know.
I mean,
either.
just their entire existence is like going into a vulnerable person's situation, making them like believe that like their child has been taken over by the spirit of a demon, or, you know, like because
I didn't know anything about the Warrens.
personally,
but
I don't I don't believe in that shit. You know what I mean? So like,
Right.
Yeah.
This is where we get into the like, what do you believe, what don't you believe stuff, and it's
Well, I
not
don't know
particularly
anything-
interesting to me.
I have no concept of who the Warrens are or were. This is the first introduction for me to them, was
Yeah.
through this movie. I didn't know if the Warrens were actually real or not. Even after watching the movie the first time I saw it, I just thought that it was just like they were kind of like a Blair Witch Project where they just continued to elaborate on the fiction of it and make you believe that everything was real. But I think that what this film does so well in that regard, they do make it feel as though that this is actually possible within the realm of like human existence.
It's the Exorcist trick.
It is.
I just think it's interesting how like reverent the film portrays them.
They're faultless.
Right. So you put it up against the other movies in the genre, right? Poltergeist. Like that family is super real. Like the parents are just so cool. Like they get excited about a haunting to start with and everything, but these people aren't allowed to do that. It does have a kind of evangelical bent to it, where you're just supposed to be like American flags and apple pie until the demon shows up.
I watch a lot of horror movies, and it definitely made a huge difference listening in the headphones.
Yeah.
This movie had a lot of very subtle moments, auditory, that I don't normally pick up, which was pretty cool.
His microphone scene when he's wandering through the house with like testing the pipes and stuff, I was like, that's great.
Yeah, and the fact that that's the only audio is that what you're seeing him mic as he walks through, and they're doing it's like the only like found footage part of the movie.
Right.
It's just really beautifully executed.
It's just interesting because we're all in headphones, we're all by ourselves, so like this is a little bit more effective, right? Like this would be a more enjoyable experience for a non-horror viewer to be doing this in a collective setting.
I'd much preferred the in-person marathon.
Dude, guess what? So do I. I don't know who we've got for. I know China's not coming back tomorrow. I think night 2 of Night Marathon 9. We are watching Annabelle from 2014.
Just a little background in the film. It's directed by John R. Leonetti, who I think is probably most well known as the cinematographer of The Conjuring.
Oh, nice. Leonetti is part of a cinematography, basically empire. His whole family. He was first AC on a bunch and camera crew on a bunch of stuff, including Poltergeist 1982.
It looks like he shot Mortal Kombat, so then they gave him the ability to direct Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
There it is. That's what he does. He shoots a really successful movie and gets to direct the sequel.
Now might be a good time to say that I absolutely hate scary doll movies.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
It's like the first 4 Friday the 13th movies. You get to watch like 5 minutes of the previous movie at the beginning.
Can you imagine being that put together, like hair-wise, as a pregnant woman? This woman is, because she can do anything. If she doesn't live throughout this film, I call bull.
Another great thing about watching movies with you, Tam, is that even if you have seen a movie, you don't remember the movie.
I don't remember this movie at all.
Oh, next
nice. Oh, she just got Chuckied.
Is that how dolls get possessed?
It's one of many ways, Mary. One of many ways.
Canonically.
Stop it!
A lot is happening.
Oh
no. Clean off your doll. What is happening? Hey, baby.
Oh gosh.
This is cool. There have not been a ton of like scary set pieces in the movie yet.
Yes.
Oh
good.
no. Oh no.
Uh-oh. All right, I think I caught up. I think I.
Yeah, when she passed by it originally, it was pretty.
What are you doing in there, bitch? Sorry. Oh my god. Hate it. Hate it. Awful, awful, awful.
I don't like those.
Look at her dirty ass cloth. Oh, clean your cloth, bitch. Oh.
Don't.
Nope. You did not travel to the.
Take the stairs. Done with elevator.
Where are the stairs? I don't want to go back out there.
No, I want to stay in that elevator hard.
No, if it's not working, don't take it.
But like, do you want to go back out there? I do not.
Oh, I just realized that the character's name is Mia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mia Farrow, Rosemary's Baby.
Oh.
Yep.
What is
No, 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 no!
Oh, Jake. Uh-oh.
Oh my god, they just speeded us. They speeded us. They totally pulled the speed on us, man.
Oh, no.
No, no, no. Oh my god. I don't like it.
No, I think you should shut the door right now.
Yeah, same thing.
No, no, don't touch him. Definitely don't touch him. No, no, no.
Head
Don't.
straight in the
No.
kitchen. Oh no, I know where this is going. Oh no.
No.
Oh god.
No, no, no,
Oh god.
no.
I know where this is going.
No, please don't. Please don't.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Holy shit.
You fucking movie.
Oh my god.
That is dark.
Wow. Nope.
Oh, it makes me feel terrible. I don't
No.
like that.
Oh, thank God.
A daughter needs her mother.
So you said it. No.
Don't do it.
No.
No, we don't want you to do it. Oh my god.
This is some fucking bullshit if
Yeah,
she does
I hate that.
this.
Oh, I almost forgot.
Here's your doll.
All right, 2014's Annabelle.
We have a young couple that lives in suburbia expecting a daughter, which they make very clear by the mother's love and affection for dolls. There's a doll that the husband gives to the wife that she's been looking for but could never find. Before that, we meet the neighbors, and the neighbors say that their daughter is coming home. Sit in bed and dream.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Kind
You're
of-
lagging like crazy.
Later that night, their next door neighbors are murdered by their daughter, who has joined a cult.
Yeah, her basic Charles Manson replacement.
They go into the young couple's house to presumably kill them. Annabelle, who is the daughter that killed her parents that live next door, commits suicide by slitting her throat while holding the collectible doll. A drop of blood trickle into the eye of the doll, which is how possession happens.
We all know this.
Weird things start to happen around the house. The house catches on fire. The mom is okay. The baby is born.
Well, yeah, so she fell on her belly bell. So they had a quick emergency C-section, as I mentioned earlier, since she was already half cut open in her stomach from the hippies.
Doctors finish the job. The baby is born healthy. More weird shit starts to happen. The wife makes friends with the woman from LA Law, the secondary magical black best friend, and has had some sort of backstory where her daughter died. The wife starts to see like crazy things. She's like attacked by a weird demonic thing in the basement. The husband doesn't believe her at first because women are hysterical. Their priest like believes them. And like throughout this whole time, we see Annabelle every so often, but like we've come to realize that there's some sort of like demon that's attached to Annabelle. Like it's not really Annabelle that's doing anything. It's like the demon that's making you think the doll is creepy. The demon wants to take the wife's soul.
The baby soul.
The baby soul. Okay, I couldn't remember which one they were going for. The wife goes into the baby's nursery and the baby is gone. A scene happens that we all feel really weird about where like she thinks she's killing Annabelle, then she thinks she kills her baby, and then it turns out it was Annabelle. And at that point, the wife has decided they're not going to give me my baby back unless I give up my soul instead. So she goes to the window and is going to like jump off with Annabelle. The husband and LA Law are trying to be like, don't do this. The movie then decides that they should sacrifice a black woman instead of a white woman.
That's exactly what happened.
Yep, 100%.
And she jumps out of the window with Annabelle. The day is saved. At the end, they're at the church with the father, and he's like, this thing that's attached itself to the doll still exists. Somehow you're freed from it, but whoever gets it next is going to be screwed.
Wow. I don't care what kind of collector's item Annabelle is. The first thing you got to do is replace that eye.
And it's a dirty ass doll.
Take a wet wipe to those cheeks.
Second movie in the Conjuring franchise. How do we feel?
I like the Conjuring movies. There's some worse to come, so everyone gear up for those. But I feel like these first few, I like them. With this one, I feel it's weird that we didn't see Annabelle more. I remember seeing her so much more in this, and like it kind of feels like, do we even feel like Annabelle was the villain in this?
There are a couple ways you can do the haunted doll movie, and Chucky is one way, all right? You see Chucky moving around. As soon as people see Chucky moving around, they start, well, this is silly. That looks silly. So you can also go with the haunted object route. Using her just as the object, then you can have weird things where it's messing with your mind, or it's messing with your perception, or like this thing's happening, it's turning this on over here. Using a doll as a haunted object feels more viable for actual spookiness.
I think this, especially for a freaking doll movie, I think it was pretty good.
In the context of the series, the Annabelle doll is like, that's the most haunted, crazy, scary thing that these people have encountered in their life, right?
Yeah.
Do you really like feel that through this movie though? They kind of build up Annabelle too much throughout the series.
The fact that the Warrens have this room, this is basically the perfect setup for an anthology series.
Yeah.
So like Annabelle is just one chapter in this overall story. Did you guys ever see the movie Oculus?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Okay, Oculus is one of my favorites, and they're kind of treating Annabelle the way the Haunted Mirror is treated.
Yeah,
you know, the mirror creates the opportunity for things to happen and perceptions to change. The mirror's not like moving around like jiggling locks, you know? I don't think it was a bad movie. It didn't have the highs of The Conjuring, obviously. There were some good scare sequences, just not on the same level.
I've certainly seen the worst horror films.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely, in a lot of ways, feels like the movie that comes a year after the big hit comes out. And it's okay, we got to capitalize this and make one of these really fast.
I just felt like this movie was a little muddled between if it's a spirit specifically latched onto the doll versus a demon, which then fell from the ceiling.
The demon is basically the thing they were worshiping in the cult of the ram. Their sacrifice on that night of the people obviously brought into manifestation the ram they were worshiping, and so that's what was attached to the doll.
Yeah, it's a little muddled.
And it's also like, weird that like if there is this all-powerful demon attached to the doll, the thing it's gonna do is like hover it in the room to spook you out.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought this movie was fine. If I hadn't just seen The Conjuring last night, I might have a higher opinion.
So we're doing Conjuring 2 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that.
Yay! What? I have actually done multiple rewatchings of this. I really like Conjuring 1 and 2.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, she's so cool. Oh, man. Nice that it's not just the cleanest cut family in the whole world, too. For a change.
Listen, Ed Warren's never seen a house that he didn't think was haunted.
It's nice that they're addressing it a little bit.
Believing in ghosts too.
I love that.
I love how the camera didn't quite leave the tent, so you're still kind of fixed on that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
There's someone in their home! No one, what you talking about?
No wonder I can't get a good night's sleep. No, I don't want to hear another word. Now get back to bed. The
My
liars!
shoulder, Mom?
Oh! See, I love it. Like, that's so cool. Like, every time you get to a place in this movie where they're like, oh, this one person, now they're not going to believe her. Like, some shit happens, and it's like, oh, yeah, everyone believes it because it's still going on. I love that.
I also love that they're
that.
like, we're not staying in this home. We're not stupid idiots. We're going to leave. Oh, God. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
No.
No, I don't like that.
Oh, those eyes, man. Those eyes.
They're too real. It's like, you gotta chill, painting. You gotta chill.
Oh, they weren't like that before.
No. Definitely
not.
I love that.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Oh my
effective.
god.
That's
That is
effective.
great.
I love it. Oh, let me just grab onto here. Uh-oh. Oh, Baron. Who's out there, Bubba? No, I'm not
Whoa.
trying to get out.
Whoa.
Oh my god. You know you're kind of screwed when the 1,000 crosses you put up start turning upside down. That's a telltale sign. Fine. How did she get in there, Mom?
Oh!
No. Nope, I refuse that. I rebuke thee.
Oh boy.
Patrick, serenade
Yes,
us!
please.
Yes,
I love
Patrick.
it.
Yes, Patrick.
Do it.
Oh my god, I can't handle this.
Hook, line, and sinker.
So small and light.
It's so small. I'm like, good job, guys. Good way to toss in a little humor.
Oh my god.
Put that chair in the rain. Is that chair still there?
For
I
real.
swear to God.
It's the same thing as Annabelle. Put it in the trash, chop it up, burn it up, burn it, chop
burn
it.
it, chop it, chop it, burn it, chop it. Yes.
I love you, Lorraine.
No!
Wow.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Keep your head down.
Keep your head down. Oh, you hate to see it. Why are you getting so close, man?
Because he got his eyes burned.
Yeah,
I mean, he
still
can't
though.
see anyway.
Janet, please.
Oh.
My lord. My God. Dang, you guys. This is so good.
All right. This time we open up with the Amityville house. They're doing a seance in the Amityville house, which is notoriously haunted American property in New York. She is in a trance and she's living out the vision of the dude killing his family, and it's awful and it's beautifully rendered and horrifyingly specific. That's just the opening and it's awesome. And then we see a house in England and then some weird things start happening around this chair, and there's a young girl getting like tormented in her sleep by the thing. And then it starts kind of taking her over. Good old the Warrens that we know from movie 1 get wind of it. Lorraine is like, no, Ed, we can't do this anymore. I had a vision of you dying. I would rather it didn't happen, so we're just going to peace out on all this action. But then there's this haunted nun who is in the Amityville house, and she's creepy as all get out. And there's this beautiful sequence around that. She came to the house, the Warren house, and is kind of chilling right there. We go to the Enfield house, which is in England. Again, Ed and Warren go out because the church is like, find out if it's real. If it's not, whatever. Don't do anything. Just let us know. But of course, Ed is too noble of an American gentleman to not do anything, of course.
Sure,
and
sure.
so is Lorraine. They get to know the family. Cool sequences. It looks like they're faking it. It looks like they're not faking it. Can't prove anything. Can't whatever. Like sequence after sequence after sequence. It's just like a bunch of scare sequences lined up in a row. After Ed and Lorraine leave, they figure out that, yeah, the girl's being kind of possessed. And then they go, and the demon there's a demon that was blocking her energy, her Lorraine energy, from like perceiving. They go to the house. There's a big whole confrontation. It's super tense. They learn the demon's name. She gets to call it in the middle of the whole crazy thing. Love conquers all. Everybody survives. I really dug it. I still really dug it.
Right?
I still think the first Conjuring is my favorite of what we've watched so far, but this one was pretty good.
I totally agree, Mary. I think the first one is definitely better, but as just like a standalone horror film, I think it's so good. It's a fun movie to watch, especially with friends, so that like amplifies it. I don't know what it is about these. I think, like I said earlier, they're so easy to watch, but they're still really good, and I really enjoy that about them. So yeah, man. Oh, I love this one.
I think as a sequel, it worked really well. We've done so many years of these, they don't normally work out very well.
The first Conjuring is just more grounded, and it feels very real. And then if this movie was just the old man ghost, it would feel a little more of that. But it started to work in that way that the first It, the new It, they just like lined up scare sequences and knocked them down. And it's kind of like a new factory farmed horror movie. This feels like that, but it's fun and it works. And I have a much better time watching this than the latest slow indie whatever
And like
horror
something
movie.
slow, yeah, something that's like not keeping my attention. And I kind of like it, you guys. I kind of like it.
Jill, no.
The Nun is the one I haven't seen.
I'm a little bit of two minds on this, seeing it again. I think it's probably about 20 minutes too long.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like a lot of the storytelling in it, like some of the themes about seeing is believing. I do always feel like when you have that kind of storyline in a horror film, they set up the straw man a little too heavy-handed.
I felt like this movie was directly responding to some of your criticisms from the first movie. Directly responding to like the Warrens were actually evil.
They do that, but it feels like lip service. In the world of the movie, we know that this is actually happening.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the filmmaking from a visual standpoint is still like really amazing. I think that's where I respond to it the most. I think the atmosphere is really great. I think it maybe tries to do a little too much is all.
They didn't need the Crooked Man and the Nun, but they're trying to set us up for another concept that they want to have you spend their money on. So, you know,
yeah,
let's talk
for sure.
This also kind of has a ramp up factor. Like they don't go too crazy with it, but it has like an aliens vibe. You really get to that last sequence where everything's rushing to a head and it's like da, 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 da. It's a little more action-y than the first one.
Oh, way more.
Let's watch Annabelle Creation. Welcome to night 4. Annabelle Creation's the last of the Conjuring universe movies that I've seen.
Ooh.
The Annabelle movies are rough on kids. This is like a staple too. It's the oneer that takes you through the environment of the home. Just so that you know where the kitchen, where the living room, where the hall, where the stairs. They do it all in one every time in these movies.
Yeah, I think everyone so far has been, yeah.
No. No.
Okay, I'd just like to say that this is so far a lot better than the other Annabelle.
Don't ever enter any wall. Don't do it. Not in a Conjuring movie. Oh God.
Ooh. Oh God.
Got me. Yeah. Oh no.
Oof.
Oh man. Oh man. No.
Don't look under your bed. Don't look.
No,
Please don't look.
don't.
Mm-mm.
Don't do it.
She's gonna.
Oh.
What? Uh-oh. Very cool, yeah. Oh.
Oh!
Now I know why it's R.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally.
We thought helping the girls could be our penance.
Yeah, bringing them to where the evil is.
Just
Yeah, now it's a slasher movie. Let's do this. Oh no, really? Yeah.
She looks just like you.
Oh shit. Welcome to the movie we watched 2 nights ago. No, are we inside the house? They're gonna end the movie with this?
So wait, is that all in Annabelle then?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all in
that's
Annabelle.
near the beginning of Annabelle.
I
got chills.
It
I
was
knew-
so slight.
I knew it was gonna move.
It was so slight. Annabelle creation. We are before any of the movies now. Annabelle is just a little girl. She belongs to a dude who makes dolls. He has to like change a tire. She runs out into the road. Kaplowy! Years later, a group of girls who are orphans are bussed into their new orphan home. It is the home of Mr. Mullins and Mrs. Mullins, whose daughter was Annabelle. They're like, okay, you can just enjoy the house. Don't go in this room. It's my wife's. Don't go in the upstairs room. That was my daughter's. One girl who is a polio survivor has a brace on her leg, and she's kind of hobbling around being adorable with her friend who's super sincere, and they're great together. She hobbles her way into Annabelle's old room because the doll tempts her in there. She kind of sees some spooky stuff. A bunch of spooky set pieces are set up and knocked down very well as the doll kind of chases her soul, captures her. She and the doll and a demon who kind of can grow and have his eyes glow start trying to pick off the other girls. Finally, the little girl who is friends with the polio girl. How does this movie resolve?
The nun forces it back into the closet.
That's right.
With-
The closet where Annabelle was kept, bound in Bible pages.
Close the door and they get out of the house and the house blows up.
So then we see a couple go to an orphanage. Janice, who is now identifying as Annabelle, is there being adopted by the couple we saw who were the neighbors from the first Annabelle movie. It ends with us being inside the house from the events we didn't see of the parents getting murdered by their now cult daughter. That's it until the mid-credits when we see Annabelle is still in the closet and she just about turns. As your first Conjuring movie, Phil, how do you feel about it?
This is just on me on a personal level, but like this and like the Chucky movies, like the evil doll stuff. No one ever tries to break the doll. Smash its face on the dining table and see what happens. Let's just roll with the hit.
See, and that makes more sense in a Chucky movie for real because Chucky's actually moving and coming at you, but like she's like a conduit. So like you can't identify her as the axis of evil 100%.
No, the little girl who's like, I'm going to save Janice by throwing this down a well.
Yeah, she gave it a shot.
Definitely thought the doll was the evil part.
First time seeing it for me. Yeah, I enjoyed it. A couple jump scares that got me. I thought it was very well done.
I enjoyed it. This was a lot more enjoyable than Annabelle.
I would probably go Conjuring Creation, then Conjuring 2.
Okay.
Everyone lived.
It was mostly about terror, darkness and terror. Annabelle Creation, like for me, for some reason, it scared me the most. I was the most scared. You commented on it, Aaron. I was clearly the scaredest during this movie.
Whenever you have these like prologue, prequel, creation stuff, it kind of takes away the scares for me because I know even without seeing Annabelle or Annabelle the Returning or whatever the next one's going to be, I already know that in creation that the bad guy's going to win, right?
Yeah.
Because they can't make more movies if in the creation she gets destroyed.
Coming back into this, the series as a whole, I had feelings about Conjuring 2. I had feelings about Conjuring 1. The only thing I could retain from Annabelle Creation was the feeling that I had been tense and that they had jump scared me. And that's what I retained from it. There's not like a story being told. They're not trying to impart any real thing to you, theme or whatever. You're just taking a ride. And it's effectively done. And if I watch this movie again in 2 weeks, I will not remember what will be coming, and it will still work on me. Let's get to The Nun. Yikers.
Now, hold on. He hasn't checked for a pulse.
Oh, okay.
Whew. I wasn't expecting it from that direction.
I'm surprised they haven't run a flashback to
Oh. Who was it who made the decision that was like more churchy and older timey?
Oh my god, this guy's a huge moron. Did the demon take his short-term memory?
Don't stop praying.
Oh, good. It's a praying climax. They did it for a second. That was the one sequence that felt Conjuring-y.
Yeah, that's cool. I hate that. I hate everything that just happened. I hate that she put Jesus' blood in her mouth. I hate it. I'm fuming.
I mean, usually we expect this kind of thing when we get to like Hellraiser 4, Hellraiser 5, Hellraiser 6.
There's an old abbey in Romania. There's an evil presence there because, as we found out in the middle of the film, it was built by a man who had sort of a demonic intentions, built a hellmouth in the basement of this place. So the nuns who had lived there were terrorized. At the very beginning of the film, one sacrifices themselves. The Vatican is notified. They send a priest and Taisa Farmiga, who is a soon-to-be nun who hasn't taken her vows yet. They go, they hang out for a little while, do their investigations. They figure out they have to seal up the hellmouth so the evil presence of Valak or whatever isn't set upon the world, and they succeed.
Kind of, because Valak shows up in Conjuring 2.
Obviously comes back somehow.
This movie, from start to finish, is just like a snooze fest. There was one effective sequence in it.
I was like really trying to stay on board, and then like halfway through, it just was so shitty. It was really like boring.
But Taisa, big fan. I even enjoyed Annabelle way more than this.
Oh, by far.
My art background is Italian Renaissance, so I like heavy Catholicism and symbolism. But once the nuns were dead, then I was like, never mind.
It all just felt so haphazard to me.
The setting, like we said, it looked really good, and I think the actors tried their best.
I actually find the casting to be baffling of Taisa Farmiga because she's so obviously related, but they don't do anything with it. Somehow related to Lorraine.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make any sense.
No, it's not.
No, they're sisters. Taisa Farmiga is Vera Farmiga's sister.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
You didn't know that. They look exactly the same.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's just weird to me.
The Conjuring movies so far have had like built huge set pieces of tension and suspense. And this one, each time those moments happened, there was just nothing.
Some of that tension is lost by the sheer size of the space that they gave us in this movie. The other two Conjuring movies took place in a very tight and narrow home. This one took place in a castle and a convent. You're going to lose a lot of that tension because there's space to get away.
The nun itself, it's not scary. It looks, again, like comic to me. It doesn't look like a scary villain.
Totally. It's goofy.
It's lame.
This and even Annabelle Creation, all of the scares were really telegraphed. I didn't jump once in either movie, like this one especially. If you're going to tell me that a scare's coming and then telegraph it the whole way through, like, that's just bad.
Annabelle Creation spooked me a bunch, and it's because the scares are telegraphed. Like, I see this thing that's going to happen, but when and how is it going to happen? And that gave me a bunch of tension. It did not work for you, but it definitely worked for me.
No, because I think
something just jumping out of frame left at me.
For me, like, there's two types of scares. The jump scare where I think of like Friday the 13th and Halloween, stuff like that, where it's like, yes, you know something's going to happen, but they don't necessarily say like, oh, something's gonna come out of this wall. It happens and it gets you. The other kind of scary moments that I think of are more internal, where it's just like, it's not going to be a scare, it's just this sense of tension. But I feel if you overly telegraph it and rooms get dark and people spend 20 minutes looking at candles in a circle and it's like, oh my god, it's a pentagram. That doesn't build suspense for me. I called it 4 seconds into the room what's going to happen, and then you spend 20 minutes to get there.
I get what you're talking about, like watching characters walk around in the dark forever, and I feel it like crazy in a bunch of slasher movies and a lot of indie modern horror, because they basically get one location and they have a couple of characters and they have to have them walk around in the dark for ever in order to like stretch out their runtime. The Annabelle creation was like, follow this thing to this thing. Now the thing lights up, find the thing. Where does that go? Over here. Now this, now there's a sheet. The sheet's gonna come.
Oh yeah, there's no argument that this movie is 100 times worse.
Yeah, no,
don't get me wrong.
Each sequence had a narrative within itself. Like that alone is entertainment to me, and it pulls me along and keeps me tense and suspenseful. Whereas here, none of the sequences really had much of a narrative. It was just like, I see the boy, I chase the boy. I continue to chase the boy. The boy's over there, I follow the boy.
I think this is the first of the Conjuring movies where, like, right from the beginning, you kind of know exactly what's going on.
I've seen every other film in the Conjuring series. This is the only one I hadn't, and this was by far the worst.
We will see whoever cares to join us tomorrow for Curse of La Llorona. Has anybody seen this one before?
I've never even heard of it.
The legend is a woman who murdered her children and wanders the world forever crying. No. Bad news. Bad news.
That's rough.
Here we go. This shot's back, Jake.
Yep. Learn the layout of the house. My Llorona. Ha. Cool. I wonder what that has to do with anything, but... Hey, a little Evil Dead. That was straight up Evil Dead.
Yeah.
So we need help immediately, and you're the only person who can help us. But I think your help is stupid.
Why fade out? Why fade out between those two shots? This isn't a trailer. This isn't a movie trailer. That was The Curse of La Llorona.
The movie starts basically introducing this woman who drowns her 2 kids. 1700s Mexico, something like that. Cuts to the 1970s, and we are with a social worker. 2 kids of her own. She goes to a house. La Llorona is stalking the kids, frees the kids, not knowing any better. Kids end up dead. I'm just going to keep using moms to make it confusing. That mom, the non-social working mom, prayed to La Llorona to then take the social worker's kids, which then starts the kids seeing La Llorona, never discussing their injuries to their mother, and then a whole lot of nothing until a final confrontation where the social worker lady and the 2 kids and a not priest fight La Llorona in the house. And it ends with La Llorona being stabbed in the heart with a cross that was from a tree that witnessed her killing her kids.
We've had 2 lackluster entries in a row, and I'm still excited about tomorrow night. I still hold out hope.
It felt like James Wan's production company was like, okay, just be on the lookout for supernatural horror scripts. Like, could you imagine the Warrens showing up to like deal with this? Like, it just doesn't fit.
Okay, look, if a movie has characters I'm interested in, or an interesting mythology that they explore throughout, or sequences, effective horror sequences just win of themselves, like a horror set piece in this movie. There's the bathtub. There's the car where she's like rolling down windows from the outside. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah. There's the pulling up of the tablecloth, which felt real like last minute kind of addition.
Yeah.
The attic was a decent set piece. That felt like a horror movie. Tamara showed up. Sorry I gave you guys any hope at all. This one I like more than The Nun, but it's not great. I also enjoyed it more than The Nun.
Yeah.
They don't even explain any part where like the mom had her kids locked in the closet, but there's like the symbol on the door and she's like, there's 1 day left, but you don't have any.
Yeah, like how would she know there's 1 day left? Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. They never explained the one day left thing or the eye of protection symbols that were all over that door. Like that could have been helpful to know about.
I don't know. I think I like this worse than the Nun.
Oh, really? I still was more engaged in this than I felt like I was last night. But I'm also one of those psychos who likes Halloween 5 more than Halloween 4. So what are you gonna do?
I hope at the beginning, but yeah, it just kind of dropped off a cliff.
A much more interesting movie would have been a movie that follows the first family.
Yeah, that she actually knows the lore and is trying to outsmart it. Mom seeking revenge for her dead kids would have been a much scarier villain. Like they could have used her like Pumpkinhead and have her being like seeking revenge on behalf of other parents or something. But I also don't know the lore.
I'm looking it up, and like what's crazy is we just watched a movie about it, and the lore, just the Wikipedia lore, makes it sound 10 times more interesting than what they did for this movie. Hey, she kidnaps them at midnight. Like there's actually like rules that she follows. The movie was just like, whatever. There's so many points in this movie where that girl should be dead. It's the same stuff that happened in like Annabelle Creation and the same stuff that kind of happened to the Nun. It's just like, you had these people and you were just like, I scared them. That's pretty good, right, guys? And then they just
I'll come back tomorrow.
We head over to the final movie of Night Marathon 9. Annabelle Comes Home.
That should do it.
You
okay?
Ooh.
It's a beacon for other spirits.
So absolutely put it in the most haunted room that you can find.
In your house.
This is so fun, guys. We're getting a babysitter movie at the end of all this.
This screams Jake, I feel
What a
like.
blast.
My parents said I'm not really prepared to process death yet. It's a birthday party. I'm sorry.
That's so good. It's
This
so good. The
movie.
writing is so much better already.
Which is funny since the same guy wrote it.
He finally had to direct one so they wouldn't keep ruining it.
Yeah, this entire sequence, awesome. Awesome. Oh, I'm loving everything here.
That is so cool, you guys. Oh, guys.
Yeah, that's fun. That's effective. Oh. Oh.
Loving it, Doberman. Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be there. I don't want to be in that room.
Ghosts used to be people. And not every person you meet is bad.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the one that she just saw was bad.
Yeah, the fucking hellhound got out?
Everything got out, Jake. I really like this character here.
Yeah, I do too. She's got all the edgy girl elements, but she's actually sweet.
And she has a motive for being stupid, and I love it. Oh, that's so sad.
Holy shit.
And now everything that's reflective looks like those eyes. It's so good. That's awesome.
Man, he just is losing a lot of money. That's what I'm concerned about.
No, here we go.
Ouch.
We're getting, yep. We get at least one in every movie.
Yeah.
The Drag into Darkness.
You know, I do actually like him. I like him. Uh-oh.
3 calls.
Fire safety was not a big concern. I guess.
That's cool that it turns into a real girl. That's so cool.
Oh, fuck.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. Whoa.
Who are you? Oh my god. That was legitimately, I liked that.
Yeah, this house is, Annabelle's totally Oculus. Oh. Oh, there we go.
Oh!
There we
Stop
go.
throwing up in my mouth. I have a hard line, and that's it.
A hellhound's a hellhound. That is a werewolf. No. No, I don't care. I don't care anymore. No.
It always impresses me, Jake, that for somebody who loves horror movies so much, who can be scared by all of them.
Oh, Feely Mealy!
Feely,
Mealy!
This is awesome. This is
They've
awesome.
already made a sequel to the Monster Squad, and it's called Annabelle Comes Home.
The evil has been contained.
Yes! She is dressed for just an episode of Scooby-Doo. She's ready to go.
Literally Daphne. This is the best after the first two Conjurings, right? Any
This
of
is
the
like
other films.
going into Final Destination Day, then you get into 3 and you're like, oh, then you get into 4 and you're like, oh, and then all of a sudden FD5 comes in and you're like, yeah! Give me Gary Doberman all day behind the lens. I mean, it didn't have the same kind of like elegance as the James Wan pictures, but it was a good time.
It has such a lighter touch. The Conjuring movies have some humor in them, but they're still pretty serious and heavy. This one's just,
Yeah, it's fun. It is not only is it a movie about a babysitter coming over, it feels like a babysitter movie. It's the kind of movie you rented with pizza and for a sleepover. It's that movie.
We start off, and Judy is having to be babysat by
Mary Ellen.
Mary Ellen, great. We do know her name. Her parents are going off on a trip to fight ghosts or spirits or demons.
As they do. They're the Warrens.
They do. There's Mary Ellen, and then her more devious friend, the opposite of Mary Ellen, comes over, Daniela, wanting to kind of poke around in the Warrens' business. And you think it's because she's just kind of mischievous. But it turns out her dad has passed away. She was driving the car in the car accident that they had where he passed away. She wants to contact him again. She causes a heap of trouble for everyone. So she releases all of the entities in this Warren museum that they have, then the 3 girls, and then Bob, the new boyfriend, come in and save the day, kind of wrangle them all in. It's so fun. And I feel like this is my favorite one after Conjuring 1 and 2, which I think are just so good. I love Conjuring 1 and 2.
I liken it again to Hellraiser Day, where you watch Hellraiser 1, cool, whatever. Hellraiser 2, that's pretty badass. And then worse. And then all of a sudden you get Hellraiser Cyberworld or whatever. So all of a sudden you're in a teen party movie, which is not to do with Hellraiser. And this feels like all of a sudden a babysitter movie shows up in the Conjuring universe and just really brightens my mood,
Yeah.
In this one, we had a cadre of evil entities again. Annabelle, of course. Evil Bride, the werewolf, which is a hellhound, but a werewolf, and the ferryman. And good times, man.
The haunted TV and
the game board that we had. I think that's a cool thing for the Conjuring movies because Conjuring 1 and 2 had such cool variety in their monsters. And so for this one to come back to that and have a lot of different variety there was really fun.
At the end of every one of these, I'm always like, if I have to sit down and watch one again, I'm going to watch. And it would be this one. It'd be super easy to just sit down and start over. Speaking of all the other ones, best Conjuring movie.
Just Conjuring.
The Conjuring.
The Conjuring.
Worst?
The Nun.
Yeah.
The Nun.
The Nun.
100%.
Yeah, see, I say La Llorona.
I really didn't like Annabelle, though.
The first Annabelle?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of night marathons. I know it's a little different because we didn't do them all in one day.
This is hard to say.
It's not exactly the same in terms of a franchise.
I also think that's part of what makes it such a smart move. Building the Conjuring universe out around a bunch of other things, and not every one of them has to have the Warrens, but it can. And what they did with this one, having it be about Judy, solid action.
So your rankings.
As far as fun franchises to do in a single sitting, Nightmare Halloween, Friday, Conjuring, Texas Chainsaw, Saw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a different vibe,
At the bottom.
Chucky, Hellraiser. Hellraiser's still the worst, Jill. Hellraiser will always be the worst.
You broke Jill's internet by saying
If you want to check out any of the other night marathons, they're on the screen here somewhere. That's a playlist. You can subscribe if you want, although this is pretty much all I upload anymore. And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Don't go trick-or-treating.
This year, guys.
Thanks for coming.